what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing would look like. With a trend that has not been called and nothing has been discussed about it. For instance, when you see a project like fuel subsidy removal and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead. And even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not coming to loot Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up, at least if you are a rich man and you come to manage a team, you make your influence affect the people so that they will now have hope. So right now, apart from God, sir, the trend that is that.
To have you on the program. It still remains the economy today on KAFTAN Television. And again, as always, I always bring people that will help us explain one side of our economy or the other. And today is not going to be a different day. It's still the same ball game, but in a different style. Why I'm saying so is that I have someone that is an artist in every aspect of it. She is an artist that you've heard is a female that I have. Incidentally, she will be talking about art in general, but then we'll also zero in on one form of art, that is ceramic artistry. So we'll talk about that. But then we want to see how it has to do with the economy and what can it do to help the young people, the women, of the female gender, feminine gender. So we also want to access that side and see how it works. Okay, Chukwunabago here, even as you've seen my name, but then I have a guest, and that guest is someone that I would say, as I mentioned, special. She is Adeola Blessing Bamikole. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abichiku, for having me here today. It's a privilege, and I appreciate this platform.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We have other segments on the program, as we always do. We'll still be talking some serious matters. We'll still look at stock exchange. And we have our business news, apart from the fact we also have news tips, news bits from here. So as we go on, these things will be brought your way as you follow us. I wouldn't know, but then I guess let's take an intro from her, and after that, before we now go into talking about the other things that we have, as I've mentioned. And what I mean by an intro from her is for us to get to understand more what she does and how it is that she's doing it, and the things that have to do with all that. And so I want to say that Bamikole Adeola Blessing is a contemporary ceramic artist and art therapist, founder of Tade Craft Limited, and a brand defining African ceramics through wellness, cultural diplomacy, and innovative craftsmanship. Oh well. Her work explores the intersection of healing, identity, and culture, offering immersive clay experiences that help individuals reconnect with themselves and find emotional clarity. So we'll talk about all that today on the program. But then I must tell you that something about her is that she is a visionary. And a visionary convener of Nigeria's first poetry conference that is focused on the intersection of art and therapy. This is new to us, isn't it? Art and therapy. And we'll still look at that a bit and find out more. A pioneering platform that highlights the emotional, cultural, and psychological power of clay. See that? She serves as an instructor, of course, at Fespedia Creative Industry Academy, where she guides students through foundational and advanced ceramic techniques. So we want to tap from her experience today and share all this. And I want to start asking her straight away what has to do with all this that we have seen, this pottery and all of that. Then generally, I want to throw straight the first question at her, and that is asking the contribution that art in general has made to the economic and financial development of Nigeria. And we'll still get into finding out the one that area where she is, what has happened in it. So let's find out from you.
All right, thank you for that question. Yeah. The contribution of art to our economy is very wide, considering that art is a very big industry, you know, spanning from the art of writing, the art of music, our film industry, the weaving, the pottery, the sculpture, and the likes, you know, upcycling and all. So this contributes significantly to job creation, you know, in the economy. The research and data has it that our film industry is the second largest in the world. So that is a big deal for Nigerian economy. And with the evolving technology that we have right now, and the use of AI, the revolution of the industry, Nigerian art has potential to create even more jobs opportunity. Also, it contributes to our educational system. You know, our curriculum is rich in arts, different kind of arts, and in a way that equips, you know, student pupils and the youth with the knowledge of the craft, which transform to economic growth as time goes on. It also contributes to tourism. Yeah, so and tourism is becoming a very big industry sector right now, where we have you know, international organization coming for collaboration, intercultural exchange, and the like. So it's a big industry that contributes even to the GDP of the nation.
So you can say that in the area of job creation, that the art has made much impact, especially, you know, art in general and pottery in particular.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I can say for that, at least today in the studio you're having a potter seated here. So although in the aspect the real data is not really available to how much pottery is making impact, but we have the potential of creating more. The News Agency of Nigeria, you know, published something in 2023 talking about how the ceramic sector is worth over $500 billion. That is a good number and you know, an opportunity to tap into for job creation. So the pottery industry has a very, you know, wide potential in the sense that we are blessed with these raw materials, and when these raw materials are processed into products that are useful and functional, it's an opportunity along the value chain for job creation. Yeah, that's
great. We'll soon be looking at other things that we have, but then we also have business news. Apart from that, we still have our news bit and the discussion on the money. I guess we will take from the business news right now. We'll return and continue.
The United States Department has announced a contribution to humanitarian efforts in the Northwest, providing $5 million to the United Nations Children's Fund to address acute malnutrition among children in the region. In a statement issued by the United States Commission to Nigeria, the fund will enable UNICEF to deliver life-saving nutrition support to at least 70,000 children with acute malnutrition in Northwest Nigeria. The statement said the assistance will go towards essential supplies, noting that these funds will be used by UNICEF to provide ready-to-use food, medicine, and other humanitarian supplies. The Northwest faces serious food insecurity and malnutrition worsened by conflict and displacement, which disrupts access to farmland and basic services. UNICEF runs nutrition programs in the region, providing ready-to-use therapeutic food and medical supplies to treat children with acute malnutrition. Now, pertaining national budgets, the federal government has projected total revenue of 50.74 trillion naira for 2026, alongside a targeted economic growth rate of 4.69%, while its proposed 2026 deficit has risen to sharply that it now exceeds the entire national budget of 2022 by 2.78 trillion naira. These deficits likely means the government plans to borrow about 16.1% more than what the entire country spent in 2022. The scale of the gap, combined with the high debt service bill, signals a more difficult fiscal year ahead. This comes after the Federal Executive Council approved the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, briefed State House correspondents after the meeting and confirmed that the documents will be forwarded to the National Assembly. The minister projected a growth rate of 4.68% for 2026 and warned that increased political spending in the run-up to the elections could heighten pressure on the exchange rate. He further said, given that 2026 is a pre-election year, there is a lot of election activity spending that can typically affect the exchange rate. And now, Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, APCON, the government-owned agency established in 2013 to stabilize and revitalize the Nigerian financial system, has repaid about 3.6 trillion naira to the Central Bank of Nigeria since inception. Managing Director and CEO of the corporation, Benga Alade, disclosed these at a media parley in Lagos, remarking that even though it has paid 1.7 trillion naira to purchase the toxic assets of banks, it has been able to repay about 3.6 trillion naira and still owing about 3 trillion naira. He said APCON restructured the banks of offloading toxic assets from their books and injecting fresh funds, aligning with corporate insolvency restructuring principles. Speaking on the financial performance of the corporation since he assumed duties as the helmsman, he said the corporation recorded total revenue of 156.25 billion naira and total operating expenses of 29.04 billion naira, remarking that total operating revenue ratio was 19%. The federal government has commenced the first tranche of direct financial payments under the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET initiative, marking a major step in its push to expand skills development and youth empowerment across the country. According to the statement signed by the Director of Presence and Public Relations at the Ministry of Education, Borio Wofolashade, more than 42,000 students enrolled in the TVET program have now received their monthly stipend of 22,500 naira designed to support feeding, transportation, and other welfare needs while undergoing training. The ministry said the disbursement ensures that the technical training ecosystem remains stable, well-funded, and capable of delivering practical skills needed in the labor market. The Minister of Education, Maruf Tunji Alausa, described the rapid commencement of payments as a direct execution of President Bola Tinubu's mandate to invest aggressively in Nigerian youth through skills-based education.
Thank you for taking care of that, being part of it. We're still here, and that's moving from business news. We're still talking business anyway. And this time, we want to say that I still have my guest that is here with me to talk with me. Bamikole, of course, Adeola. You know, I have an Adeolu in the studio. That's why I keep saying this. But this is Adeola, yes. Yeah, she is a Carbon Clay Collective awardee. And of course, her works have been featured in many stations all over the country and beyond. And leading reporters like WTS Magazine and all that have had her. That's why we have her here. Let's talk about her too. Let's talk about what these things can bring to us in the economy. And so we're saying, pottery in particular ceramic art. Yes. These are two different names that people will look at and say, which one is it? Which one is it? First, I want you to give us the difference between both. And then tell us how acceptable is this pottery or even both to the young people in Nigeria today?
All right, thank you. I'm going to be going into practical details now.
Okay.
When we talk about pottery and ceramics, pottery is the basic of ceramics.
Mm-hmm.
The process is what makes the difference, and the material. Mm-hmm. So basically, what we do, the indigenous production that we do commonly in Nigeria is pottery. Simply the terracotta, where you can see the color of the nature of the clay. So that is pottery making. But when the step gets a bit higher,
more advanced.
Yeah. So, and that's ceramics, and the difference is the material. For ceramics, we do two firing. Yeah, when it comes to pottery, it's just one firing for the terracotta, and for the ceramics, after the terracotta, we do what is called glazing, where we use some of our materials like feldspar, like quartz, silica, and all of that, depending on the exploration of the artist. So. And that's where we do the glazing, which is the second firing, where we have the ceramics, and I think the most beautiful one actually, the aesthetics and all of that. So I think that's the major difference between them, the terracotta and the extra firing that made it ceramics. Yeah.
And both we find in our country today,
yes,
just as you are doing.
Yeah.
And how, let me use the word, how acceptable is it to the young people? Okay,
so I'm going to be talking about the young and the old acceptance of the craft, because evidently it's more acceptable, based on my sales record and my customer, interaction. It's more known and acceptable, among the older generation. I think because of the, the experience and the nostalgic, experience they have around arts. They already know the value of this thing, whether to their cooking, drinking, and all of that. And when it comes to the younger generation, they're just, coming up to accept this, in the sense that, I'm still talking based on my sales record, I have also like a 50-50 acceptance when it comes to both older and younger generation, with the enlightenment that is going on, and, people's interest in holistic wellness. When we talk about pottery is actually, when it comes to cooking wares, your drinking containers and all, pottery is actually the safest. And I'm talking from research. We have research on ResearchGate. These are published research by doctors, on ResearchGate, on academia, where you see pottery being validated as the only safe home ways you can use, whether you are using for cooking because of its retention of the nutrients of your ingredients, the taste and the heat circulation. When it comes to drinking, it gives natural alkaline water because of the nature of the clay, especially the porosity of the clay material. So this awareness is over the internet, and that's why I say technology is working for the creative industry. So these things are, are available to, this information are available to people, and because of the intentionality of people for holistic wellness, people want to stay safe, want to eat safe, and all of that. So the younger generation are beginning to adopt, the use of clay pots, clay pieces and wares, and although we still have a lot to do when it comes to, disseminating the information and the value, because it's solving real world problem. And also, when we talk about the therapeutic aspect of it, today, maintaining good mental health is becoming luxury. So people want something to keep them grounded, to keep them calm while the chaos is there. They want to shut out, the noise of the world and still be themselves. So pottery process. The process of pottery is actually what we explore for therapy, and that process is actually, helping people, and people are beginning to see it as tools actually to solve real world problems, and the acceptance is, encouraging. We're hoping to see more traction over the years. Yeah.
Okay. When you were saying this, something came to my mind. Called to my mind. I said, I'll ask you. What about this fragility? Most of the fact that our pots and local pots are so fragile. Someone going to the stream then to fetch water. If she falls down, the pot is gone, and all those things. What are you doing concerning this fragility of the earthenware that we're using? Have you done anything about that?
Okay, so that's very good. So based on technology, the advancements, we are able to do, some research how we can still, maintain the natural natural nature of the clay pot. Yes. So our process has improved over time. The process of mixing different kind of clay. So someone may think like, these are some things that, I hear customers say that, is it not just clay? Yeah, it's just clay, but we have different types of clay. Okay. We have some stony clay. We have the black clay. We have different. We have some that is close to sand. So the mixture of those things makes it more stronger. So those are the materials that we put together, to make it more strong. Not just one type of clay, but different type of clay in their strength. Yeah, so that makes it more stronger. We're working on that. Okay.
Yeah. And I gather, of course, that at least from what I've seen, that ceramics, they don't just break so easily. Is it not? I mean, they can last longer than the normal.
Yes, okay, yeah. So especially when we talk about maybe cooking pots, I've had people say, they want to buy, and they're like, oh, it's very fragile. I want to tell you again that firing makes clay stronger. Okay. So I always tell them, the more you use it to cook, the stronger it gets. So you don't have to really worry. The way you handle your ceramic plates, and it doesn't, it still lasts for as long, some persons even have to discard their ceramic plates without breaking. So that's how you can also handle pottery. Pottery is also ceramics, actually. So the way you can handle it and also, make it more durable and sustainable for you. Yeah.
Okay, well, learning lessons, of course, getting to know, because if you ask me, I would like to revert to those kind of plates and pots, because I know that they are healthy things that we can...
Very healthy, non-toxic, just clay and water and firing, so it's very healthy.
So I would really love to, I know I'm not alone, there are... My dear viewer would also want to think the way I'm thinking.
You're right.
I would want to get something different as we go on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We will still be talking. I don't know. Let me leave this one. I would have asked you, but let me say, do you think that art has attained its pride of place, both in Nigeria and the world over, most especially in Africa? Do you think it has attained its pride of place?
Okay. I would want to actually, commend a lot of artists in different spaces within the creative economy. We are trying. When we talk about our fashion is doing big on global stage. When we talk about our music, when we talk about our films, our digital economy, actually, that we are really trying, but we can still do better. But when it comes to creative arts, like pottery, like ceramics, we are not harnessing the market enough. We are not penetrating the global market as we should. Ceramic is a big market everywhere around the world. There is no discrimination. There is virtually no limitation on pottery and ceramics products. So I feel like we are not harnessing, we are not entering that market enough. We are not there yet, but we can do better. So we can do better. There are still ground, there are still territories to conquer. Just the way Ladi Kwali conquered during their own time.
Yes,
yeah. So the opportunity is even more bigger now for us. So we have
do something.
yeah, we should do something.
We just hope the people in authority would hear this and assist, because I know on a serious side that you need government assistance to spread this, is it not?
Yes, that's one of our limitations. We need studio porters in places where policies are made. Yes, policies that drive the craft. Yes, the funding and all of that. So I think that's another topic.
Yes, for another day. Yes, we'll still talking. We'll still take a bit of it. But before we let that be, we'll look at what we have to. I think we should be taking our news beats now. Economic outlook for 2026 positive, says CBN. The governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, yesterday gave a detailed response on the macroeconomic performance of the second half of 2025 and the outlook for 2026, affirming that Nigeria's economic recovery is firm and broad-based, declaring that the outlook for 2026 is positive. Caruso said despite global headwinds ranging from geopolitical tensions to fluctuations in oil prices, Nigeria has consolidated macroeconomic stability, strengthened financial markets, and improved monetary policy effectiveness. He made the disclosure during the second statutory engagement of the year between the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions and the Apex Bank in Abuja. According to the CBN governor, the bank's inflation targeting transition, tighter monetary stance and FX market reforms have restored credibility to monetary policy. For instance, he noted that the real GDP grew by 3.98% in the third quarter of 2025, driven by crop production, ICT, real estate, and financial services, while the Purchasing Managers Index reached 56.4 points in November, its highest level in 5 years, indicating stronger output growth. Africa's 3.4 trillion market stifled by tech barriers, Afreximbank. The African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, has warned that Africa risks missing out on the full potential of its $3.4 billion market unless urgent steps are taken to remove digital barriers. Group Chief Economist and Managing Director of Research at Afreximbank, Dr. Yemi Kale, stated this on Thursday during an engagement session in Abuja themed Unlocking Nigeria's Trade and Investment Potential through Digital Innovation and the Abuja Africa Trade Center, AATC. Kale said the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, had created the world's largest new trading bloc with a combined population of over 1.3 billion and a GDP exceeding $3.4 trillion. Yet, intra-African trade still lags between 15 and 18%, far below Europe's 60% and Asia's 40%. He identified market fragmentation, high logistic costs, poor trade data, and cross-border payment hurdles as the main factors stalling Africa's trade growth. Highlighting the role of technology, Kale said digital tools such as automated customs system, e-commerce platforms, AI-driven market intelligence, end-to-end supply chain systems, and digital payments are already reshaping global trade. He cited Rwanda's digital single-window system and the rapid expansion of mobile money as examples of successful innovation on the continent. Federal government begins payment of 185 billion naira gas legacy debts. The federal government has begun the settlement of 185 billion naira in long-standing debts owed to natural gas producers, This is to guarantee steady gas supply to the power stations. The move, endorsed by the National Economic Council, NEC, headed by Vice President Kashim Shettima, marked one of the most significant interventions in Nigeria's energy sector in recent years. The 185 billion naira legacy debts, long-standing government obligations to gas producers for past supplies, have strained cash flow and hindered operations, discouraged further exploration and production, and reduced gas supply for power generation, thereby worsening Nigeria's power shortages and unreliable electricity supply. The payment to the executives through a royalty offset arrangement is expected to restore confidence among domestic and international gas suppliers who have long expressed concern about persistent indebtedness. And here we are again, still talking art as in general, art and the economy. Still trying to find out the contributions of art into the economy and the prospects that art has as far as the future is concerned. And so we want to find out. That's what we have to do for an artist. We have to do for someone that's involved in art to come and talk about it today. And I was privileged, I must say. I got privileged, I must say, to have been able to find someone that is a young lady, a beautiful one for that matter, who also has gone on to do this work and do it well. I am talking about Bami Kole, and she is, of course, Adeola this time, because I remember. Adeola, good to have you on the program again.
Thank you.
We have been talking, and we want to find out more from you. This art, this ceramic industry, ceramic artistry, and sculpting, let's put it down that way. All of it, if you put it together, is it not supposed to be something that can be making good money for Nigeria? That is export product, number one. Then number two, I know that in this country, I have seen ceramic plates, ceramic pots, ceramic this, ceramic that most of them are made in China. It's very rare that I see some that are made in Nigeria. I remember that there used to be this company, this parastatal under the government that was in Enugu. I don't know whether it's still in existence today.
A lot of them are.
I've just thought about the name. I can't remember. If I remember it within the program, I'll say mention it. And they were in Enugu. They were doing ceramics and all that. But today, I don't hear about it anymore. So how much of government involvement have you seen in this industry?
All right. Practically, based on my experience so far, when it comes to ceramic industry, ceramic sector, the government involvement is not really significant, so to say, in the sector. And this is a big market. Ceramic is a big market in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world at large. When looking at our population alone, population keeps growing, and so is, urbanization, housing, and all. So, and that puts Nigeria, in a position of consumption of ceramics products. And when we look at ceramics today, Nigeria is used to be one of the emerging economy of ceramics.
Yes.
At least it's number 8 on the list.
Okay.
But today, we are the highest importer of ceramics products. We consume a lot of ceramics, from tiles to sanitary wares, to tableswares, kitchenwares, design, figurines, and all. So this market that moves out of the country can remain in the country. When the news agency, projected ceramics for over $500 billion, these figures are still moving out of Nigeria. These are things that can move within the economy. And I think this calls for the government to look into, the empowerment, the restructuring of ceramic arts, and also artists as their own part to play, because just like other, art is gaining recognition, artists need to put themselves out there as much as they can, before someone comes to recognize the effort. We need to put ourselves more out there, our craftsmanship, what we can do, and how far we can even go. And also, one of the things, I think the limitation I noticed within our circle as ceramic artists is our artists are more emotional about the job. We are not looking at the figure. So I feel like artists need to start looking at the figure. What kind of figure moves in this economy? And how can we retain this figure in Nigeria economy? How can I be part of this figure? How can we improve this figure? So
that is just as you mentioned that 500,000.
Yes, 501, 511 as a 2023 publication. That is the market of ceramics in Nigeria, $1 billion.
Oh, billion.
Actually. So it's on news agency platform. So I'm not talking from I'm talking from data that is available. So we need to look at art beyond emotion. I know that when we talk about the school environment, and I forgot to mention, in the last question you asked, I think there is a gap between the practical, the workshop, and the classroom.
Okay.
So, and that gap is evident in the marketplace, in the sense that in the classroom, they make artists understand that this art is more like emotion. Yeah, it is. As an art therapy, I understand the emotional aspect of art. But now, artists need to think like entrepreneur.
Yes.
We need to think the business side of it, actually, because, and that is why we are not even producing enough for our own consumption, not to talk of export.
Outside the country.
Yes, and so this is the gap that I think stakeholders need to look into, bridging that gap between the classroom and the workshop. The workshop are trying, but there are a lot of graduates of ceramic out there that can't fit in. They can't fit into the marketplace because the gap is there, and we are not thinking business enough. Yes, we need to think business. We need to think business. We need to think how to move the economy forward. And when we're talking about the economy, we're talking about our purse. Because a lot of persons want to think, oh, you are doing it for the bigger structure, for Nigeria. You are thinking, you are doing it for yourself because you are part of the economy. And when the figure is being added together, your figure will be added together. So we need to think of art, ceramic art, country art, sculpturing, anything that is related to ceramic. We need to see it as business. Business, and not business as usual again. We need to look at it from the contemporary aspects, the contemporary needs of today. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's it. You've seen it, and we're still talking. We need to see it as business, not just business as usual, where it is only emotional that it becomes. But this time, apart from your emotion, you need to use it to put food on the table effectively. And not just on your table at home, but on the table of Nigeria.
Yeah, as well as solving problems also. Solving real world problems.
I have seen so many, as I said, so many ceramic plates and pots and all these wares, earthenwares and all. None made in Nigeria, very few made in Nigeria. In fact, 5% is what I've seen made in Nigeria. And there are so many of them today that we have 95% made in other countries outside Nigeria, especially made in China. Why can't we have them made in Nigeria? We are thinking, because our president has said, think Nigeria. That is the rule and governing part of the country today. Why can't we also think Nigeria when we talk about these earthenwares, these wares that we use to eat our food, to cook our food and all that, to preserve our food and all that? It's still possible that we can do this and save this country a lot of foreign exchange. That's what you're saying. And not only will we save it, we can also create more in that when we start creating beyond our own needs so as to export. All right. Thank you so much. We are still here and we're still talking art and economy. This economy of ours has a lot that we need to discuss about it. All about it, we still have things to bring in. And so, well, we will look at some financial stories and we'll return. Yes, the stock exchange. Let's look at it immediately and see what we have. Looking at the Nigerian equities market, talking about the way it happened yesterday, extended its positive momentum with the market capitalization increased by 97 billion naira. The all-share index gained by 152.28 points, representing a growth of 0.10% to close at 145,476.15 points. Also, market capitalization gained 97 billion naira to close at 92.726 trillion naira. What I can see. Then, of course, we'll move talking about the upturn. It was impacted by gains recorded in medium and large capitalized stocks, amongst which are the USCN, Lafarge, Africa, EcoBank, Transitional Incorporated, and that is ETI, Nigeria Breweries, and Guarantee Trust Holding Company, GTCO. And the other time is that we'll talk about sentiments that were bearish, as 28 declining stocks outnumbered 23 gainers. And we'll just look at the gainers right now. And with the gainers, we have USCN, US Nigeria, recorded the highest price gain of 10% to close at 88.0 naira per share. Morrison followed with the increase of 9.94% to close at 3 naira 54 kobo per share, while ETI rose by 8.53% to close at 36 naira 90 kobo per share. And that's it, and we will still continue to go on with what we have and how we're sharing. There is also the money, the exchange rate between Nigeria, between Naira and the pound sterling, the dollar, and of course the euro. If we can find that, we'll take that immediately. In its absence, we can still continue our talk. Oh well, my guest is still here. My guest is still here, and we'll still talk. Looking at these things the way they are today, looking at the way they have come, if we look, I can say if I were to look at the exchange rates by myself without showing the one that is there, it is a little on the good side, let me say, because if you look at the dollar, it's been 1,535 naira 06 kobo, while the British pound has been 2,204 naira 40 kobo. The euro has had 1,853 naira 70 kobo. And so someone asked me the other time concerning these things I've just said. The pound sterling and the euro, which are, and of course from what you've seen, the pound sterling goes for 2,204 naira per pound, while the euro goes for 1,835 naira per euro. So of course that's the way it is in Nigeria at a time like this. Thank you. We will still continue. Looking at this now, we want to start winding up and start asking some questions that I will need to bring to Adiola. I think, what do we do, Ola? How do we do it? Thinking about the fact that there is a place you would have wanted, even as we, like you remember, like the
Quality, yeah.
How many people in Nigeria today can we remember in the future? How many of them are working hard? I want to talk about that, like we have Adeola, you know. Can we talk about what are the things that we need to see so as to know that this art is not going entirely from Nigeria? Do we have a hope that we'll still see many people like all of you say, Bamikole Adeola, another name, another name, another name? Are there people like that that are working today?
Yes, actually. There was a decline at a point after Ladikwali when it comes to ceramics. But today, we have a lot more people doing something. And in the coming years, pottery art is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's going to evolve into, a very vibrant industry by the grace of God, and with someone like me, and tens and thousands of other people that are doing great things. Yes. A lot of people are doing. You can check on the social media. There are a lot of emerging people that are already existing, but with the help of social media and all of that, we are gaining the visibility that the craft deserves. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
So that's hope. There's hope for us.
There's hope for it.
Even as we say, renewed hope in actual fact. Even
course.
as we're in the renewed hope administration at a time like this. After Ladi Kwali, there was a kind of law, a kind of slip that came up. And then people like you are bringing it back. And that shows that we have hope in this country. That when you are there doing things, that we can still get to be there eventually. Okay. Looking at the things that we're saying, what do you see poultry in the next decade as a whole? Where do you see it? Looking at the fact that, remember, we've talked about the monetary side of the story, and we've talked about the emotional side of the story, and we're talking about the training side of the story, so people who will replace you when you go, because you're still quite young.
Yeah, I'm going away.
Yes, you're still there. In the next decade or two, where do you see this kind of work that is going on today?
Okay, before I go into that, before we can scale into that, that prospect, there are some limitations actually that needs to be addressed.
Let's address them. Thank you.
That needs to be addressed, to ensure that the market of, at least from the domestic market, from the local market, the market is moving very well. So the level of youth participation needs to increase.
Okay. So the awareness needs to be created right now.
Yes. The awareness needs to be more now than it has ever been. So we need more youth participation in this, because youths they are the average, like the largest part of the workforce, labor force.
Yes, they are.
So we need more youth participation. And also, one of the limitations that we have in, moving and distributing our products is logistics.
Okay.
We also need to look at, the distribution channels, as well as if this craft is going to, if it's going to be sustained for a longer time. We also need to look at including artists in policy making when it comes to arts. Artists want to be included. I want to be included in making policies, that will transform the productivity of this world, in the global market. Also, we have upscaling the knowledge. We need to upscale knowledge. The reason why other countries and continents are thriving is because knowledge are evolving. In today's ceramic, sector in Nigeria, I'm talking from my place of experience. I learned from the progeny of Ladi Kwali. I know a bit about the circle. So there's still this indigenous knowledge still going on within the cycle. We need more upskills, more accelerators, yes, for the craft. And so with all of this and even more, the potential for arts in the next 5, 10 years, 20 years is very wide. It's looking promising. It's looking promising. And with the likes of myself, Tade Crafts, putting having transformational impacts within the industry, the craft is going to evolve into a very vibrant, productive industry. Creating jobs, maintaining the nation's identity, even global markets, putting Nigeria in the global market and on the global map. It's going to, build tourism in Nigeria.
Yes,
and tourism is money. A big deal. Yeah, it's a big market on its own. So it's going to, impact a lot of industry together, a lot of industry on the value chain of production. Yeah.
Okay. Bamikole Adeola, you have a mission, and your mission is to inspire a new generation of artists who see clay not just as material, but as a transformative tool for creativity, connection, and healing.
Yes, sir.
Good. I want you to talk about this because we talked about the therapy and now we're talking about healing. How can we bring these things together?
Okay.
Let the layman understand it.
Okay. When we talk about healing, I'll use the practical example of what is going on in Nigeria as an example. We have, in the next few years, we're going to be having a lot of displaced people who wants to tell their story, who wants to find closure, who wants to, remember where they're coming from, but not in a painful way. So the country remains a challenge for them to express themselves, to express their creativity, to find their ground, to find their closure, and that's where the therapeutic aspect of poetry comes. Because when we're talking about the therapeutic aspect of poetry, we're talking about the process. We're not looking at the outcome now. We are looking at how the process of making the work is, aligning with your emotion and your psychology. Yeah, helping you to feel safe, to feel grounded, to feel calm, and finding your true self, shutting out the noise while you are creating something. At the same time, you are a part of you is revealed to the world.
Okay.
So
that is healing.
That is healing on its own.
Okay. Thank you so much. Looking at all of this, I would say that we have really been blessed to have had you today on the program.
Thank you.
And as I always say, I hope this will not be the last time we'll have you on the program.
I'll always feel honored to be back here.
Okay, because we'll have things to discuss and we'll always look for you to come. Let's talk about it.
All right.
And you are taking care of young people, training them in these, about 10 people under you that you're training, in the academy, and a lot is going on. We wish you the best and pray that you continue as you do that maintenance, a continuation, so that the art that you have will not die. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much. All right.
Well, dear viewer, you've had it. I've talked and discussed art and the economy today, and I've had someone that is very special on the program with me. I'm talking about Bamikole, and the other one is Blessing, is it not?
Yes.
Yes. So she's been with us. Young, beautiful, talented artist, and she has helped us get a lot out of this. Well, we'll continue. There are different aspects of getting to find something that affects and will make the economy better. Imagine what we have got from her. If this is perfectly utilized, all the ceramics that we use in this country will be produced here in Nigeria, and a lot of money will be saved. A lot of foreign exchange will be saved. And we're looking for where to put our young people. This is one place to put the young people. Let them learn it and start the production. There used to be one, as I mentioned, in Anambra, in Enugu. Then I remember Bright helped me to get to remember some of it, and it was somewhere Go area and Owe, that area, and something like that. There was one Proda. There was Proda, Project Development Agency. I don't know what has happened to it. May we get to have them back. Let's have many of them back in all these 6 geopolitical zones and train young people. Instructors like her and many will be ready to go train, and let us have this thing that will save us millions. Is it millions or billions now?
Billions
of dollars, so that Nigeria's economy will be made better.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we'll pack it up for today. Thanking her and thanking you for being part of the program. I want to say it's been good sharing the moments. Let me not also forget to thank my people, talking about Brian Chukwebue. Not forgetting also to say thanks to Divine Dabrela that was there as we were starting, who will also come in as I'm going. Let me also thank Emmanuel Solomon. Thank you so much. And to a lot of other fellows with whom we have worked. Victor's, talking about Victor Adeye and Victor Chisea. Thanks a lot. Thanks a whole lot to all of you as we put our works together to get the best out of it. Felix Akintabula, part of it as well. And not forgetting to say that I've come with my subordinate, my assistant here, talking about Esther Abraham. Oh, we've worked to do this together. Thank you, everyone. May the best happen to us all, and I am Dr. Chukwu.